You're listening to The Luxury Item, the podcast on the business of luxury and the people and companies that are shaping the future of the luxury industry. Here's your host, Scott Kerr.
It's hard or even impossible to find someone who has never dreamed about driving or owning a Lamborghini supercar. But Lamborghini doesn't just make supercars, it invented them. Certainly there were fast, expensive cars before a Lamborghini came along, but nothing was ever like a Lamborghini. The Italian automaker's creations were low to the ground and made to slip under the air. The engines loud and brash and sat right behind the two seats. The doors opened up into the air. Like superheroes, every great company has a founding myth. Lamborghini's origin story centers around the clash of mid-century Italian industrial titans Ferruccio Lamborghini and Enzo Ferrari. One version of the story says Ferruccio Lamborghini decided to build his own cars after being told off by Enzo Ferrari for complaining about repeated repairs to a Ferrari sports car. Another version of the story says that Lamborghini realized that the sports car business could return to solid profits. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle. With its iconic company logo of a raging bull, over the past 50 years, Lamborghini has firmly established itself as one of the most desirable and respected brands in the automotive industry. Celebrities like Conor McGregor, Kanye West, Jay Leno, Ralph Lauren, LeBron James, just to name a few, drive Lamborghinis. It also seems to have become the status brand for cryptocurrency millionaires. It's for people who want to stand out and want to tell everyone that you've made it. Someone at Lamborghini once said, "We don't do commercials because our target audience isn't sitting around watching TV." My guest today on The Luxury Item is Alessandro Farmeschi, Chief Executive Officer, Americas Region for Lamborghini. Alessandro has been in charge of the operations for Americas since 2014. In his role, Alessandro has overall responsibility for the company's sales, marketing, and after-sales operations in North and South America. Welcome to The Luxury Item, Alessandro. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Scott. It's my pleasure being with you and all of you together today.
First I have to congratulate you on the record-breaking 2020. Even after more than, a 2-month production shutdown because of the pandemic, Lamborghini made up for that lost time and broke a 6-month sales record. What do you attribute to that resiliency?
First of all, thank you for the congratulations. Are always welcome, of course. And has been quite a journey, 2020. You can imagine with all the pandemic or what we had to face suddenly. So we honestly had to roll our sleeves and watch ahead. But I believe that the success of 2020 was a combination of many factors together. First of all, let me say that from many years already in the past till now, we have developed and invested a lot of resources in our product. So our product today is at the top level. If you consider what we offer, from the pinnacle of our Aventador, the V12, the iconic V12 engines, through the Huracan that has given us a lot of satisfaction from the consumer, to the races. We won Daytona 24 hours 3 years in a row. So the product and the Urus launched in 2017, introduced in 2018. So product for sure is the key, very, very well accepted. Of course, in these years, we strengthened also our brand, the perception of the brand. Urus has been a game changer. Let's say not anymore a 2-seater car with 2 doors, but 5-seaters, 4-seaters car with the Urus, with a lot of flexibility, versatility in terms of opportunities to drive the car, comfort. And all of these mixed together with something that maybe we tend to forget, but is crucial for our success, is what we have done together with our partners in the field. So, our dealer network. Consider that we expanded the network, we introduced trainings, processes, also with the introduction of the Urus, And last but not the least, our dealers did an incredible job in terms of communication and maintaining the contact and the connection with the communities, and so with clients, prospects. And I believe altogether we reacted very well. So it's not just the factor, but many components that brought us to what has been 2020.
Yeah, and you just came off a year in 2019 was the brand's best year in its 56-year history, and Urus accounted for like half of those sales. Has Urus changed the perception of Lamborghini?
Yes, I would say that Urus, as I said
before... Is it Urus or is it Urus?
Urus.
It's Urus, okay.
Urus. And someone also told me once as a joke, you are US, no? That fits perfectly for me being in the United States, as you can imagine. No, Urus, as I said, has been and is a game changer. Game changer because first, we changed the company. So company has literally doubled the size in terms of space, so capacity, and in terms of people. But as a concept, as a car, we have been able to offer a super sport cars that combines the SUV capabilities, performances. So you have super sport car because it's a car that goes 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Wow. And brakes from 60 to 0 in almost 110 feet. Wow. So with 650 horsepower. So it's a super sport car. When you drive it, you close your eyes and you don't realize that you are into an SUV. And then is a daily driver. So you can drive every single day, is really comfortable at the same time. So performance, comfort, design of the car. And we open the door literally to all those who in the past maybe considered Lamborghini and maybe for many reasons they couldn't buy, because we opened the door to families. So now you can take an Urus and go on vacation somewhere. You can go with friends. So consider that 70%, almost 70% of our buyers of the Urus are new buyers to the brand. So we added new clients, so new friends to the Lamborghini family. And this has changed, of course, the perception. Not anymore a super sport, I used to say now, close to the ground, car like the Aventador and the Huracan, but also a different approach to the luxury and super sport.
I mean, what do the purists, the Lamborghini purists, think of the Urus? Like the purists, the ones who was it a shock to the people that
at the beginning? I have to say that I used to go around meeting people when we do events. Of course, there was at the beginning someone who was questioning and doubting. No, an SUV Lamborghini is not. I don't see. You know what? That. As soon as they drove the Urus and got into the car, they were surprised, because when you sit inside the Urus and you watch around, is not so different from driving as a position, no? With the steering wheel or the cockpit around you. It's not so different from an Huracan, for instance. The only difference that you notice that you are higher. So instead of watching people bottom up into an Aventador or an Huracan, you almost watch people at the same height, no? So that's the first feeling you have. So you feel, okay, so it's a bit different. But then as soon as you start the engine and you drive it, you forget immediately. Yeah. To be on an SUV. And this is the beauty, the versatility and the kind of personalities that this car can have. Has two different souls. So it depends just only how much, how you want to drive this car, having a lot of fun driving, having more comfort. So it's really up to you. And so these guys, in the end, these clients, the hardest one, the purest, were easily convinced.
So what has been your biggest challenge for you, aside from 2020 with the pandemic, since you headed up America's operation in 2014?
I believe that really the big challenge I had to face, let's say, apart from finding always the right balance between offer and demand, because of course we are in a segment in a market where being luxury, in the luxury business, this is an equilibrium, no? A fine equilibrium. You need to find the right recipe to maintain your product always appealing, desirable, because in the end, this is what we are. No, we are unique in terms of product. We are unique in terms of experience. Apart from this, I would say that the biggest challenge I had with my team, we had a lot of discussions, was really the introduction of a third model. Imagine a company that is used to sell, and this for many years, super sport cars, 2 doors, 2 seats, used to deal with this kind of clientele. You start basically with the first question. So we are going to double basically the volumes. So network, is the network ready? What should we do with the network? And so we worked extending the network, increasing the number of salespeople, marketing people, the after-sales team. Because of course, the people or the new clients coming, having a different experiences from other brands, from the use of other cars, because using, and let's say, who buys an Urus usually does because you want to use as a daily driver. While maybe when you buy an Aventador or an Huracan, you can use on a daily basis, but most of the time is used as entertainment for fun, because you want to go out weekend with your companion, you want to spend some good time with friends. So it's a different kind of use. With Urus, we had this question mark. So how our clients are going to perceive the new car? How they are they going to use? What are the expectations? And so we had to really work for, let's say, a couple of years, basically, creating new standards, new processes. And this was very, let's say, tough, because it's not just about, we change a process, we add this, we put 2% more here and there. No, it's about the mindset also of the people. So you need to change the mindset also of our network from dealing with someone who maybe was also willing to leave a car for a week at the workshop to someone who wants to have the car the same day for a service. No, because he needs the car. Right, he wants to the car immediately. So this, let me say, has been the biggest effort that we had to face. And I have to say proudly that the team has done an incredible job, that we succeeded. And the success of today of Urus is the demonstration in the end of, apart from the product itself, that is an incredible product, also of what, as a company, we prepared for our clients.
Yeah, and the U.S. sits atop the Lamborghini sales chart. So what markets follow the U.S., and are certain models more popular in China than in the U.S. or Germany or Japan or the U.K.?
Let's say that the U.S. is the market, by definition, the top market for the company, and usually is also the top market for luxury goods. Because of the dimension of the market, because of the maturity of the market itself and the consumer. So for us, the United States represent almost, let's say, 30% of the total volumes itself. The second market, then the others, we speak about Germany, and then we have Japan, there is UK, then not far we have Canada, but the United States are the key market for the company.
Yeah. And Lamborghini has made a major push in the digital sphere. You launched the Huracan Spider using virtual reality. You know, you were the first supercar manufacturer to join TikTok, and you've dominated on social media. So is Lamborghini making a full-on push to target these active young buyers and aspirational buyers?
I would say that Lamborghini, we started many years ago to work on digital and on social media. We understood years ago that that kind of channel for us was and is fundamental in terms of communication, because with social media you can have access to a larger community, and you can of course let everybody let's say dream and think and talk about you as a brand and as a product. So we started a lot of time ago, and we are having great, let's say, results in all the major platforms. And it's clear that we did this, as I said, in the past, and now with this trend of the digitalization, that is, of course, a mainstream more and more, because everybody has a smartphone on hand, no? So it's easy, you know, to check what's going on here. You go to Instagram, you check what's going on, you see the stories, you have your Facebook page, you follow brands, people. So now is a common, it's a normal way of communicating. And so for us, this has been in our favor, of course, digitalization in general. We have also young clientele, let's say younger than the competition. And this for sure has helped to work on the social media and using all the digital tools, to the point that, of course, due to COVID in 2020, we had to, of course, become smarter, you know, and think about how we can launch a product in a situation where anyway show must go on. So we need to still do business. And we need to do business thinking out of the box and do something different. So we started launching the Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive Spider in virtual reality. And this was, let me say, a success. A success because we had a lot of contacts, a lot of configurations done online. So there was a lot of buzz. And this is the demonstration that the way also how the consumer is interacting is changing. We also, just to tell you how much we invest in digital, we have also an app, specific app for the Lamborghini owners that is called Unica app. We use this app to communicate with our clients, informing them about the newest information about Lamborghini, about the new product. We also pre-alert them when we have new launches, so that they can be the first ones to see and look what's coming shortly after. So it's, I believe, a fundamental pillar now of communication. So digital by definition.
Have you sold cars because of those campaigns on social media?
A one-to-one, it's difficult.
Well, where someone saw it on social media and you know, inquired about it after they saw it on social media or in virtual reality.
Yes, I can say that. Yes, we had, for instance, to our configurator. So we launched the months ago the Super Trofeo Omologata, the Huracan, and this was done virtually. And right after, we received request for orders coming from the configurator. Then it's clear that we still have, I say also likely, a level of business where you don't buy a luxury good just on internet, like you can buy a commodity or other things. There is still a big component of personal touch, so that our clients have also the pleasure to meet with our specialist, to understand more about the product, to configure the car. Consider that we have a so-called ad personam program that is a bespoke program where a client can decide any kind of color of the interiors, so the color and trim, paint, any kind of paint. So they can create whatever they want, basically. And this, I believe, is the other part of being in the luxury segment, where you do a tailor-made product for your consumer, for your client.
And Lamborghini did some really interesting partnerships last year. You did one with Lego, and you also teamed up with Supreme for a capsule collection. How does Lamborghini choose the partners to collaborate with?
I would say that we usually partner with key players. So if you think about Lego doesn't need presentations.
Right.
is a key brand, well known. For us, of course, these are brand extensions activities. No? And for instance, with the Lego is known to produce limited editions of products that are key, that are a reference in the market. So they celebrate with their products, these products. So we did with the Sian, for instance. And this has been great. For which reason? Because Lego, of course, is a respectable brand, leader in its segment. And Lego gives us the opportunity, of course, to enhance furthermore the brand awareness, because in the end, Sian is recognizable. It's there, it's Lamborghini, so Lego speaks about Lamborghini. We are happy that Lego does, because Lego, of course, is top one and a respectable brand. And for us, Lego means also the next generation, right? Because you can, of course, who usually buys a Lego product like a Sian is a kid, so is a young person usually, or can be a collector, or can even be one of our clients. Because, of course, there is a bit of a sentiment and attraction to these things.
So I have to ask you, it has 3,700 pieces. Did you try building one yourself?
Not yet. I have one in the box, and I have my little son, who is 5, every day passing in front of the box, telling, Dad, this is for me. Yes, I said, this is for you, but let's wait a couple of years so that we can build it together.
That's great. And speaking of father and son, during this past holiday season, Lamborghini unveiled this really beautiful, poignant short film titled The Christmas Gift, starring a father and son separated by the pandemic. And the father receives a Christmas package from, with a virtual reality headset. He puts it on and takes this virtual ride in a Lamborghini. And in the end, the road leads to his son sitting in front of a 2021 Huracan STO. So what was Lamborghini hoping to achieve with this campaign?
For us, we are in the environment of the brand lovers. Brand lovers for all those basically who have love for the brand, but is also love in a wide sense of love. In this case, if you consider the episode, how it was presented, there is behind an aspirational effect, love for the brand, attraction for the brand, for our clients, but also for our fans, so for all the supporters of the brand. Because in the end, we are Lamborghini, and we are a company producing a super sport car, but we are not just product. So when you buy a Lamborghini, you do not just buy a product. You buy emotions. You buy a dream in the end. And the same is for all those who think about Lamborghini. They dream. And so if we think about also to those campaigns done in the past, last year, if I remember well, we had the kid building an Aventador. Mm-hmm. So, or the year before, we had the kid going to buy a Lamborghini, and then the Lamborghini popped up in front of the store. So goes beyond the product itself. And this is what I believe makes a brand a big brand, because it's not just the product itself, is what is behind, what means to you as a person.
You know, almost anyone with the appropriate bank balance can walk into a dealership and purchase an entry-level supercar. So have you seen any demographic shifts in the types of people who would be interested in purchasing a Lamborghini?
Yes, I would say the big change, not to repeat myself again, but the big change has been with the introduction of Urus. So we have seen families, so in the past a bit less. Now you see families at the dealership watching cars with kids who of course are really happy. You see them smiling, and this is a really great satisfaction for me when you see kids smiling. For me, it's one of the most rewarding things. And so in terms of demographics, of course, so we have seen this switch, and we have seen a switch also in terms of buyers. We have more female owners than in the past, of course. Mm-hmm. And I think that is more intriguing, the Urus, of course, for the characteristics that the car has. And obviously, Urus opens the door also to the Aventador and to the Huracan, because it's the same brand. So it's not a different brand, Urus versus the other products. So as soon as you enjoy what Lamborghini means, we have seen also a few switching and buying Aventador and Huracan.
How does Lamborghini build and maintain relationships with these special owners so their eyes don't wander to a competitor? I know you were just talking about the app before where you communicate with owners. So how do you keep nurturing that relationship?
I would say that we are not just a product. And when I say we are not just a product, I say that most of our activities are based on the relationship. Relationship to live together the brand. When I say living the brand together, I mean that us at corporate level or our dealers usually prepare activities, events, and we engage with our clientele. I've been often invited, and I've been often at our events to be present, to talk, to show a face behind a name, a brand, and enjoying what Lamborghini offers. So let's say the product is the reason to stay together, because you want to enjoy that. But then you go beyond and you experience together a bit of the lifestyle. So just to give an example of what we usually do, regularly we do track days inviting clients to drive cars, our cars, so test new cars.
Ride and drive.
Yeah, and then we do so-called the Giro Lamborghini, that is a rally that usually lasts 4 days. We move from town to town. We work months and months to find the best roads, scenic roads. Of course, being in the segment of luxury, the best restaurants, concierge service, hotel. And we do, for instance, in this case, we have almost 20 to 30 cars, no more. So it's quite limited. And we move for these 4 days, and honestly, we have fun. And we talk and we stay together. And this creates and generates the word of mouth. So everyone feels embraced, engaged. And then other things that we do when, from time to time, we have the opportunity to launch very special products. We do, for instance, sneak previews. We invite our clients to have a look at what's coming, giving them, of course, the privilege of being part of this brand and being part of the history of the branding.
You know, Lamborghini seems to have become this holy grail for cryptocurrency enthusiasts. You know, Bitcoin's 2017, meteoric rise made early adopters a fortune, with some taking their profits and celebrating to buy these ultra expensive sports cars like Lamborghinis and sort of cement their status as Bitcoin legends. I believe several of them actually purchased Lamborghinis with Bitcoin. So do you see more Lamborghini dealers embracing Bitcoin payments?
We have a few dealers who, let's say, are exploring this kind of payments. So, I mean, it's a way of buying. We are not part of this kind of transaction as a manufacturer. This is done at the dealer level by each dealer on their own, because, I mean, they are entrepreneurs, and of course they look at what the market offers and what the clients want usually. So this is the normal way of, let's say, doing business. I know that they usually use intermediaries to then do the transaction. And I mean, to me personally, it's not surprising this to the point that more and more you hear people talking about Bitcoin. So it's becoming more frequent. And then, when you start new as everything, when you are new at the beginning, you are a pioneer, everybody talks about. And then after a while, when it becomes normal, nobody talks anymore. No, I think we are most probably still at an early stage. And that's what I can say in this moment. Right. I don't see, honestly, a direct connection. And our dealers are just taking opportunities as others in other brands are doing. Basically.
Right. So you're just essentially just keeping an eye on it at this point.
Yes.
So a few years ago, Lamborghini introduced this concept car that showed basically what your brand's impression of what a fully electric supercar of the future might look like. So do you think we will see an electric Lamborghini supercar in the near future, or a hybrid?
To be honest, let's say we have already an hybrid car. Is a super special car. Is an hypercar. Is the Sian. Sian is our supercar that we launched a couple of years ago. And that has a V12 engine, combustion engine, plus a super special application that is an electric motor with, instead of batteries, we have super capacitors, able to release electric power. And the beauty of this system is a new application never used before. In the automotive. So we are, let's say, pioneer in this. We use this application where basically for every, let's say, in international metrics, kilos. So every 2 pounds you have 1 horsepower released. That is unique if you consider how is the weight of the batteries today. So let's say that in that sense, we have already an hybrid solution with a sort of electrification. In terms of trend, what the company is going to do, for sure, we will have an hybrid solution. The electrification is a trend, and we will follow this trend, of course. But the way we will do this is maintaining the super sport DNA, because if you think about pure electric cars, there are still a few question marks to be answered regarding the electric cars within the super sport application. That is the weight of the car and is the range of the car.
Now, Tesla's second generation Roadster sports car is slated to go into production next year, but we'll see about that. You know, it's supposed to top out at 250 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in 1.9. So has Tesla changed the way Lamborghini goes to market?
Not really. For sure, let's say Tesla competes in a different arena. So they are more on a commodity side. And for sure, is a pioneer and has contributed heavily. I think it's in front of us. Has contributed heavily in changing the perception of a consumer about the electrification. So now they are the benchmark in the market. I would say that to have a super sport car full electric is not just about acceleration 0 to 60. By definition, an electric motor has better performances than a combustion engine because of the torque that is immediately available at the start, at the top level, while the distribution of the torque of an engine, combustion engine, is completely different, you know. And so it's not all about 0 to 60, it's about dynamic. And dynamic means, dynamic agility means that a car has to have the ability to turn fast, not to have lateral accelerations with a heavy weight, and so to creating a situation of not stability of the car. So yes, they're there, but to compare a super sport car with the Tesla Roadster, you need to go on a racetrack and have the same performances.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that race when when they introduce the Roadster. So what does the future look like for the Raging Bull brand? What can we expect in 2021 and 2022?
The future is bright, I would say. 2021 is a year where we are delivering our Sian, so our special cars. We have a few units to deliver to our clients. We just launched the Super Trofeo Omologata that comes directly from the experience of the GT3 and Daytona victories. And of course, we are continuing the success of Urus. And this, let's say, is pretty solid for 21 and also for 22. And I have to say that this year is also for us a special year, because in 1971, we presented the Countach. And for all those who are Lamborghinians, Lamborghini lovers,
yes, yeah.
Countach is a car that has defined the design and the silhouette of all the Lamborghinis that still today we design and we have in production. So it's a super car, the dream car. I have to say proudly, a picture of a Countach on my wall when I was a kid, a white one. And so this is the year, the celebration of this incredible product.
Yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah, so, the DNA of Lamborghini is well represented there.
So my final question, Alessandro, which is the luxury item question, which I ask all my guests. So if you were stranded on a deserted island and you could only have one luxury item, what luxury item would that be? It can't be any form of transportation. So if Lamborghini came out with a flying car, you can't have that, or anything that requires mobile service. So what would that one luxury item be that you would have on that deserted island?
Interesting. I mean, it depends what do you mean with item, because which are the circumstances around. I mean,
it's whatever island, you want.
So you have can you have water? Can you have
yes, you could have water. Yes, water.
Okay, right. Food, all these things.
Yep.
Let's say, should I take a large approach? I would like to have because I'm in a desert island and I don't have. Let's say maybe protection and so on, a luxury home, no?
I love that.
I have all the comforts, or maybe a beautiful Urus to go around on the dunes, I don't know, something like that. Otherwise, let's say, most probably a nice watch.
That's great.
Automatic, because you don't need you don't need batteries, so something that is long-lasting.
That's great. That's a great answer. Alessandro Farmeschi, Chief Executive Officer, Americas Region for Lamborghini. Thank you so much for joining me on the luxury item. Hope you have continued success in 2021 and beyond.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you for your time.
That's it for this episode of the Luxury Item Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you found this useful and entertaining, I would be really grateful if you can share it with a friend or colleague. I would love it if you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It really helps other listeners find us. The Luxury Item Podcast is a production of Silvertone Consulting. I'm your host, Scott Kerr. Until next time.